Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Today is January 20th, 2023. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
Welcome to Hanging with Uncle.
How's it going?
Great, man. Now everybody can see what we look like.
You actually know and can put faces to voices. That's kind of the idea
Right,
here.
right.
When we stopped the show last year, in 2022, we wanted to do something different. And we hope this is kind of the difference here. Bear with us. It's something new for both of us, honestly.
And this is why it took so long to put our first episode out, just because we are now,
live and visual. Visual live.
Yes.
We are now up in the 2023 era. Who knows? They'll probably come out with 3D visual effects stuff now that we have to do that.
Right.
Or VR stuff, whatever. But no, we're caught up in the visual space. Now you guys get to see what we look like. Yay. So how you doing, man? Doing good?
Man. Before we get started, I know it's been a while, but don't want to forget. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It really helps our channel out.
Yeah, and ring the bell. Hit that for notifications whenever we go live. And follow us on Twitter for now, because we still have that going on. Right. So, yeah, this is pretty crazy.
So, why don't you introduce what it is you are starting with this week?
I am partaking in the stuff, but I have Baker's Dozen going on today. I've already partook. If you haven't tell, a little glossy. I can already see the gloss, but it's some good stuff already. It's been a long, stressful day today. How's your Friday been?
Mine's been pretty peaceful. I was fighting a little bit of allergies earlier in the day, but I feel pretty good now, so.
That's good. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Hope everyone's had a good Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. But yeah, we're going to get into our first show of the year, and I like the smoke effect.
Right?
So why don't we get started?
All right. Well, I know we were kind of talking about Kevin McCarthy a lot, over the break.
Yes, we have been. It's a big change, but not many good changes have been happening,
so,
to my understanding.
If you're a Harry Potter fan, I kind of equate Kevin McCarthy to a Horcrux. Because
he's leaving pieces of himself around.
Right, so you need 218 votes to get anything done in the House of Representatives, including to be, the Speaker.
Right.
And the first time Kevin McCarthy had 202 votes. So that means he had to split himself 16 different ways to get Republicans to vote for him to be Speaker. He sold himself out, exactly. So say, for example, you had a guy like Scott Perry, Republican from Pennsylvania, right?
Right.
Who originally was supporting Byron Donalds for the speakership. He wasn't supporting Kevin McCarthy, right?
Right.
So,
he's not on his team, basically.
Scott Perry is under investigation by the Department of Justice for the January 6th stuff. The Department of Justice, the FBI, they've already raided him, conducted a search warrant, took his cell phone.
Yeah.
He was one of the congressmen that was requesting a pardon. Mm-hmm. And his deal, his Horcrux, he wanted to be part of the Oversight Committee, which is the Oversight Committee oversees the investigations that the Department of Justice or that the executive branch is doing, right?
Right.
So now he's on the committee that's overseeing the investigation that's looking into himself. That's just some of the examples of what McCarthy did to sell his soul.
We did a self-investigation, and it looks like we did pretty good.
Yeah. Another one was that any one member of the House of Representatives at any time can bring a vote to the floor to have him removed as Speaker. So, I mean, he's already gone into this Congress as the weakest speaker in the history of the United States.
And it's only been how long? Like
a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, I feel like you kind of have to sell yourself for the positions that they do anyways, but that's just my opinion. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's just again, it's what we've talked about beforehand on the show. It's literally a team-based strategy. All of it is. It's I need all these people on my team to get recognition.
Yeah.
It's a popular vote. That's all it is. And
For power.
like really, that's really it. And so I'm not surprised, honestly, that he's selling himself out like that. Not at all. Because if you're not the favorite, then you gotta somehow become the favorite. Like that's
Right.
just how it is.
So-
Like
And now one of the most important things that is happening right away was we have the debt ceiling
Yeah.
issue to come up, right? And Republicans are hell-bent on burning the House down. They do not want to pay America's bills because raising the debt ceiling is just authorizing Congress to pay for the things that they've already spent money on. So, like national defense, tax breaks for the rich, all that kind of stuff. The pipers come calling.
right.
And like we talked before, what happens to your credit rating if you don't pay your bills?
It goes down.
You're-
And then the interest rate goes up. You have to pay more. They're expecting you to pay more. Yeah.
Exactly. So it
Right
not
down the
only
hole.
affects the American economy, it tanks the global economy. So,
Okay.
you're anybody that has a 401k or money invested on Wall Street
Mm-hmm.
is going to be affected by this if they mess around and allow these time to pass without paying our bills.
Well, obviously, I mean, with the debt that we have, it's kind of amazing that we're able to pay bills in the first place. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it needs to be done. I mean, McCarthy better not fumble the bag because he's in charge of that, right? Like you said.
Well, so here's the thing, like Wall Street.
Right.
Wall Street does not want the United States to default on its full faith and credit because that's where all the money flows.
Right.
That's where a lot of politicians get their money. And if they make the full faith and credit go down and make interest rates go up for borrowing money, Wall Street won't be happy. So, McCarthy's going to have a come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah.
And the one thing, he knows he has 212 Democrats that would vote yes to increase the debt ceiling.
Well, yeah, because he's selling himself to him.
Well, and will 6 Republicans, just 6, vote to say, you know what, I'm not going to crash and burn the United States and our full faith and credit and mess up our credit rating and send the entire world into a global recession or depression.
I was gonna say, it sounds like the government might be closed soon, huh?
That's
is that the
another
idea?
strategy.
'Cause-
Yep, they've closed the government over this before. And the thing about it is that they're holding what they want to call entitlements hostage over this, right?
Right.
So again, I live here in a 55 and over community. Just about all of my neighbors collect Social Security.
True. No, I'd say more than at least 80% of them do.
Yeah.
Like, more than at least.
or are on Medicaid
Right.
or Medicare. And if that goes bye-bye, these dumbasses that vote against their own best interests,
Right.
that, collect Social Security but vote Republican, they're just ignorant sons of bitches, man. And they're the ones really that are at fault for what's getting ready to happen if they go ahead and let Thelma and Louise drive the car off the cliff.
Got it. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, every time they close down the government, it seems like it works because it comes back. I mean, they always seem to work it out, right? Like,
Okay,
trying
so-
to stay positive, I guess. Like,
I mean, long story short, do I think he's going to not bring a vote to the floor to pay the bills that America has already spent money on? I don't think so. I think he will bring it to the floor. I think
kind of has to.
I think then the shit show, the crazy town,
has to.
the three-ring circus will be walking through the halls of Congress
Right.
with people bringing votes up to remove McCarthy as speaker because he paid America's bills.
Yeah, I mean,
They're stupid.
That's a big bag fumble if he doesn't do that, honestly. Like,
And if he doesn't do it, then Kevin McCarthy is responsible for, a loaf of bread being $20.
Right, but then people will point the finger and say it's the president or Democrats or this person, that person, whatever, instead of the actual issue.
And that's why it's so important to know your civics.
Isn't he like bringing in like crazy people back in? Like, I always call her Trader Green. I mean, she is Marjorie Trader Green.
Yeah.
And like Lauren Boebert and even a guy from here.
Paul
What's his name?
Gosar, they
What's
all
his
have
name?
committee assignments again.
Oh God.
Gosar sits on
That's his
oversight.
name. Gosar.
This is the dumbass that lost his committee assignment for putting out that anime of him killing AOC.
AOC, that's right. We talked about that. I saw that. Yeah, it's an Attack on Titan anime. That's what it was. Yeah, he's flying through the air and he, whoosh, like,
Right.
I mean, one, hilarious. Two, no, not okay.
You know, it just shows how stupid these dudes are.
It's funny that he made the attempt to do that. Like, that's what's that's the funny part. That's what I'm laughing at, that you actually thought that was okay. That's the funny part. And then it's not okay is the second part.
Yeah. So this is going to be so dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Nothing will get to the Senate. Anything that the Senate passes and brings to the House, because you got to have both chambers pass this before it goes to the president's desk.
Got it. Okay. That's true. That's right.
If McCarthy does not do the right thing, bring these votes to the floor to keep America going, he has no business being an elected leader. None whatsoever. Which
Honestly,
I
no,
really
because
don't think he does.
We've talked about how leadership needs to be doing. That's your responsibility and your job. Get it done. Like, simple as that.
Yes.
Or next. I mean, that's kind of it. Like, companies run that way throughout our country. Why doesn't our government run that way?
So I think in 2 years' time, America watching the dumbass McCarthy show is guaranteed to make sure in 2024 that Hakeem Jeffries will be the first African American Speaker of the House, and Democrats will be in control once again, because Republicans just want to blow things up. They don't want to govern. They just want to say no and blow up the world.
I mean, if that is the trajectory that you see us going in with that Republican mindset, I do like the idea of having a new guy in charge. I mean, I've always talked about having a new person in charge because everything is not good right now, obviously.
You know, give them a chance. All right. We had Pelosi for 4 years.
Yeah.
Now Republicans have it again, and look at the difference.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not a progressive direction.
we haven't even talked about George Santos.
No, we haven't even talked about
and-
like the importance of Boebert and Green being back too. Like it's just, man, I don't
Anyway.
understand why our government is just a clown show. That's
You know,
all it is,
honestly,
a clown show.
So this is also the first election we've had since 2020, and the censure or the census, which is, you know, like California lost a seat, and
How?
I think Texas picked up a seat because of. When you take the census, it says how many people live where, and that determines who the representatives are. And that's why every 10 years the lines get redrawn.
That's what the census does?
That's just part of what the census covers. It determines our representation. That's one big function the census does.
It's not just one big joke where just like, okay, just check it off and be done. Because like that's
It really is not a joke. The census is probably one of the most important things government does.
Oh, I have no idea what the census is, honestly. Because I know I get it, and I know I fill out the things, and it's like, okay, what you agree with and disagree with, whatever, the whole census. But like, I didn't know it was that important. I mean, it was just I thought it was just some like review that you get, like, oh, they got to make sure that you are a person here in America, I guess, or
So
whatever.
that's why
a survey of America.
Adam Kinzinger, who was a Republican congressman on the January 6th committee,
Right.
didn't even run for re-election because the way the districts were redrawn after the census, he was going to be out of a job anyway. And a lot of, and this is where, like in Florida, where you have Republican-controlled legislatures, and they govern for power, they gerrymandered their districts. So now Ron DeSantis has the votes he needs. He gerrymandered, the district so he can have the votes he needs to pass these bullshit laws
and
in
such,
Florida,
yeah.
like don't say gay and woke laws and kiss my ass laws, you fucking dickhead.
The laws that don't allow people to be themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that, how they can talk about our problems but then give us more problems also. Like,
Because
I don't
they
get it.
govern to own instead of governing for
us.
what the people
Exactly.
need, which is what their responsibility is.
which is literally what the government's for.
right. you know.
But I don't understand it. It's not like I'm just anti-government or whatever. I want an actual government that does its job.
As long as the government
I'm anti what our
enacts
government
laws
is doing now.
that promotes the general health, safety, and welfare of the people, I don't care who's in charge.
As long as you're doing it.
As long as you're doing that.
Yeah. And again, like we're referencing back to what I was saying earlier, like we talked about leadership here before. We know what a leader needs to be doing, has their responsibilities, and they need to step up in times of inaction and when they need to be doing what they're responsible for.
Exactly.
Simple as that. If you have a bad boss, you leave the job because they're not doing their job. Like, that's literally it. Like, we need to find these right leaders for us to put us in our direction, and the progressive, again, direction, because I feel like that word's fallen off a lot too. No one's talking about being progressive anymore. Like,
Being progressive just means, again,
advancing.
right now we're traveling by airplane instead of horse and buggy. We've progressed that far.
Yeah, we've talked about not falling back to old things where we're talking about racial stuff now. Like, it's 2023 and we're still talking about racial inequality and shit. Like,
I know we're kind of getting off topic.
We are, but
to
it's
me-
like that. It's not off topic. It's literally like that's what we're referencing is progression. We want progressive leadership. We don't want to fall back into old things that we've discussed and done already. That's been put out.
Yeah.
We want advancement in America,
And-
that's not what we're getting.
And so this whole bullshit about CRT, critical race theory, number one, if, I'm teaching my children, my students about Rosa Parks, that's not critical race theory.
It's
That
history.
is history
Yeah.
showing us where we were as a country and why we don't want to go back there, because this is what happened and why it was not a good idea.
We literally just had MLK Day,
Yeah.
and they don't want to talk about Rosa Parks.
So
She's a
again,
part of it. She's literally a part of the whole story.
if you think that talking about Rosa Parks and teaching about the history of what happened makes you feel bad, then the problem isn't with critical race theory, it's with you and your racist ass.
Right. I mean, like, why would it make you feel bad? Because that's in the past. Again, Rafiki taught us it's in the past. Whack. Like, why do you feel bad about something? I don't feel bad about anything.
I
in
feel
the
bad
past.
about what happened in the past, but I also am glad
What did I do?
Why
Why would I feel bad
so
about
we
it?
don't, try and think, hey, it'd be a good idea to have colored water fountains. Don't you think so? No, we've tried that.
I don't like now. I feel bad about what people were affected by that. I'm saying is like I don't feel bad about the past. I want to learn about the past. Like I educate myself about the past. There's
Yeah.
nothing bad feeling about it and nothing to shy away from. It's literal knowledge. That's what I'm saying. It's not something to like.
I agree.
Yeah, like it's not something to feel bad about. It's something to learn from. You
yeah.
learn from failure, correct?
If you feel
Like-
bad about what happened to Rosa Parks and you actually feel bad, the problem is with you, not with Rosa Parks or what's being taught.
The story behind Rosa Parks is the failure is she didn't get to sit on a bus that was free because of who she was. Now today, people are able to sit on transportation
Wherever
and
they want.
wherever they want to go. There's nothing to feel bad about. It's something to honestly celebrate that we've learned from. We've progressed from.
Yeah.
Hey, full circle. Like
we don't segregate anymore.
no, not at
Oh,
all.
man.
Like that's old shit. So
That
again,
could be a whole 30-minute show, but
man.
let's move on to the NFL.
Yeah, let's talk about something exciting here now. Let's talk about something a little bit more exciting. Yeah, the NFL. 8 teams remain, right? Is
Yeah.
that the deal? 8 teams remain.
Yep.
Cowboys and Niners. Let's start with that one. Let's just start with like just one game.
Brock Purdy.
Now that's a name. I'm not a big NFL fan. I know watch the hype games, and I watch kind of the games that I know. I'm a Cowboys Cardinals fan. I'm raised in Arizona. My dad beat the Cowboys in my head, so it's like I mean the Cowboys are doing great. They handed Brady the door, or opened the door for him at least, so he didn't break something because of how old his ass is. But he they let him go, of course. Then they beat the Buccaneers. But now with the Niners, it's a whole different story. You're not playing against a legend. You're playing against
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, it's kind of like this man is new, a new hype. Still learning a lot about him, even though he's made 114 completions, I believe, in the games that he's played. He's throwing for 1,300 plus yards. He's doing great.
Yeah.
Now it's like the Cowboys have to play their veteran game and play the game that they need to. Honestly, solid defense and keep that high octane offense, because that puts a lot of pressure on a young team. And if you have a young rising star in Purdy, because he kind of has like a Brady-esque story going on right now.
I'm just, I think one thing going for him is at least he'll be playing at home. Dallas has to go to Frisco.
They do. Dallas does have to go to Frisco. That is a benefit for them. They do have the crowd behind them, but I mean, it's going to be a good game. I hope it's going to be a good game, because every time I say it's going to be a good game, it's trash. But I believe the Cowboys can win. There's a good chance they will win, but I don't want to say it's like it's not like a 70-30 split. It's like a 45-55.
Experience is on the side of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But when I look at team defense, I think I got to give the edge to the Niners.
You think so? The Cowboys defense did step up in that last game.
Yeah,
they played pretty well.
Guys in wheelchairs.
I mean, but sometimes momentum does help with that. Momentum does help with that, especially with the playoffs. So who knows? Honestly, I mean, I would give it's honestly probably the bias that's giving the Cowboys that 10% edge. But again, it can't hurt me for being a fan of something that my dad told me to be a fan of. Okay, but no, not the excuses. But I do think if I were to place money and have a good return and a good chance on return, betting on the Cowboys to win the game is a good choice.
Okay,
I would say.
All right.
I mean, if everyone's picking the Niners, then obviously you're not going to get a return. But I mean,
again, for me,
there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance.
I think just team defense. I think the Niners have an edge on defense, and not to say that the Cowboys have a bad defense.
No,
but,
not at all.
I think that I just feel like they're going to give Prescott more fits than the Dallas defense is going to give Purdy.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll see. We'll find out. Play it on the field.
I don't have much faith in this era of the Cowboys. I think I've talked about it on the show before. I've not been the biggest Dak Prescott fan, and Ezekiel Elliott still is that one season to me in some way, shape, or form. Last game, yes, was a big, obviously, big change for Prescott, but it's like I feel like they still need something different, but I still feel like they have that experience to win against this Niners team. But
okay.
I mean, it's just kind of just how I feel. Maybe who under the spotlight, who breaks under pressure. That's a big deal as well. I mean, pressure is a big thing, and the Cowboys have been wanting to be back in the playoffs for a very long time. Hunger is the case as well. So, who knows? Honestly, who knows?
We'll see. That's why they play the game.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't know. That's why we bet on it and make jokes about it later on about who bet wrong. But
right.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Honestly, I feel like it's going to be the best game of the weekend. You think?
I think that's why we picked that game to talk about.
Yep. But with the Bills and Bengals, honestly, I'll give the Bills the edge in that game. I like the Bills. I really like the Bills this year. I do.
I think DeMar Hamlin is that's a motivation for them to get out there and win a ring for him.
Yeah, and I mean it's not even like I feel for the DeMar Hamlin thing, of course, but it's not even just after that. They've been an electric team all throughout the year. I've liked them all throughout the year, just watching how they've played. So, and again with that game after Hamlin's recovery and that they played, and of course they won. That just kind of brought more confidence in me and believing in them, because I feel like they have that momentum story right now out of all the teams in the league. But I know you have another momentum team on your mind.
My dark horse
yeah.
are the Giants. I think the G-Men are being overlooked. And I mean, look at that. They upset Minnesota in Minnesota.
I mean, Minnesota was a good team as well.
And Minnesota beat the Giants during the regular season.
Well, we'll see. I
But,
mean,
yeah.
they give the Eagles the minus 7.5 right there in that. So they're giving it close. They're making it a close game, a score
And that's
half a
another
point.
division. I mean, those guys have already played each other twice, so
So
there's
they're
a
well
lot
known.
of familiarity.
Yep, there's a lot of familiarity between them. This says they're going to at least reach up to at least 48 points. That's where the line they have it.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, 24-24 is what they're saying at least. So
I know, and and I know you wanted to talk about. We're getting kind of close on time. I
Yeah,
know
true,
you want to
true.
talk about paparazzi.
yeah, so there was a story that kind of, I don't know, it stuck in my head all week. And I know it's not necessarily an old story. It happened the other day. But Britney Spears and her husband went and had dinner. And they were, of course, just going out together, just having normal dinner time. And, of course, they're trying to order their food, and TMZ sitting there like,
You know,
like literally watch the video. You can literally watch the person like sit there like this basically with the camera. And so so then she gets mad, and of course, I mean, people are filming you trying to get dinner. Husband leaves to go get the car to leave.
Yeah.
And she has an manic episode is what TMZ labeled it, when she really all was just complaining to a waitress or is like a waiter or maybe a manager about the situation and holding up the typical like the menu up to cover her face.
Right.
And apparently she had a manic episode.
you know.
So
Man,
it's like
paparazzi can kiss my ass.
it's just it's an invasion of privacy, honestly.
It really is.
That's one big deal. They wear a badge that allows them to invade people's privacy. That's not news. It's not journalism.
No.
It's literally invading people's lives. And if these people choose to put their lives out there, then yeah. But like, how are they supposed to stay famous and also go to the grocery store and get food?
Let's not forget the paparazzi are the reason Princess Diana's dead.
Oh shit.
They were the ones chasing the limousine, trying to get pictures of her and her
Yeah.
new boyfriend after the split with Prince Charles.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it somehow, some way, there needs to be some kind of regulation to it or some kind of just stop to it.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for these people. It's not. I mean, it's really how would you feel to have somebody point a camera at you all day?
All day long.
When
no
literally
matter
you're
where you go.
like, you do it for your job. Yeah, you're a celebrity, of course. You're used to the camera, right? No, like they're doing what they enjoy in front of the camera versus their private day being invaded.
The difference is if I choose to be in front of a camera, there's a contract involved and you're paying me. Mm-hmm. You're making money off my likeness without my permission is what the paparazzi is doing.
Right, without my permission. And that's another deal. Like, they're paying these people to invade your privacy. It's legal harassment.
Yeah.
And it's not okay, and it just needs to like not happen. I mean, stop. I mean, it's
I
just probably
agree.
something I need to talk about.
I
You know?
agree.
Like,
I think First Amendment freedom of the press does not apply to paparazzi.
it was a weird story that stuck with me, but we've heard enough. Well, not necessarily we've heard enough about Britney's life, but like we know what she's gone through, man. Like we know what she literally just. Dad's gone. Like she moved out. Like it's
Yeah.
she's aged like what? She's almost in her 40s.
She is in her 40s.
Is she in her 40s? I don't even know how old she is, but like, I just don't. Why are we causing more problems for this person who we know has problems? Like, I'm not saying she has problems like illness problems. Like she literally is trying to get back to normalcy in life. That's her deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem she's going through. We have normalcy in life. She has not had a normal life her whole life.
Yeah.
So she's trying to do that, and people are still invading it. So,
Right. Well, I think it's time for our dumbass of the week.
all right, I'm gonna start first because mine's kind of funny, and kind of gross. I'm sorry for those. It's kind of X-rated, so if you want to just, But some cops had some fun time with another lady cop. We'll call it. What? How many cars? 5 cars on a train? That's a locomotive in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 cops got fired. We love talking about police officers here. I mean, it's always something that comes up in the news that draws attention. But we love talking about cops because it just makes us feel so great and well protected here, especially when they're committing oral and sexual acts on the job. Yeah. No good. One lady cop, 5 other male cops, I believe, or 4, all got fired from their job because there's either video footage. They described it as Girls Gone Wild-esque, like that kind of shit. So these kind of people are protecting us. We talk about responsibility again, ladies and gentlemen, especially with leadership, and we expect these people to also be civil leaders in our community, and yet they are doing it on time. So we do pay their checks as well. So maybe we should probably step up in that department there as well. Of course, they got fired, so that
there was accountability.
Yes, of course. I mean, duh. My girlfriend's HR, and she said that's a nightmare. She said especially when there's video footage and film, and the girl openly talked about it too throughout the department. So, I mean, dumb asses. So that's why they get the dumbass of the day. It was honestly a flip-flop between the last story too. I didn't know which one, but I felt like this one was a little bit more fun with being dumbasses, especially when there was a lot of ass involved. So
my dumbass of the week is Pedro Sandoval.
All right.
Pedro Sandoval ran for state legislature in the state of
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry, in the state of New Mexico, right?
Uh-huh.
And he lost, and he lost by 48 points.
Okay.
And he's still claiming voter fraud, and long story short, hired people to shoot the homes up of 4 New Mexico elected officials because he couldn't. They can't fathom losing unless it's rigged, even though you lost by 48 points. Your dumbass is a sore loser. You belong in prison forever. And you just got your ass kicked at the ballot box, and now you're going to get your ass kicked in criminal court. So fuck you, Pedro Sandoval, you dumbass.
So I did hear some information about this story. I want to hop along. Apparently, after he lost, he went to these people's houses and talked about how like he felt like he was cheating out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then literally an hour later, they came by and shot up the place.
Thank God nobody was hurt, but still.
An hour later after he left. Like, what the?
I'm telling you, man, the mindset of Republicans in this country is, man.
It's insanity.
It really is.
Why are you hiring? One, these are really bad assassins, by the way, that you're hiring, so I hope you didn't pay too much. And 2, I heard most of them are in custody, so that's a good thing, right? Most of the guys good. So they're not on the street anymore. You can't hire these guys anymore. So, I mean, that's...
You know,
everyone's safe. That's what I'm thankful for.
I'm registered no party preference. I do not pick sides. You know, I vote according to the issues and what's going on, not according to what party or if there's a D or an R next to somebody's name.
And this guy lost by how many points?
48 points.
So it wasn't even close, right?
It was a landslide. He got, Napoleon did better at Waterloo.
That's sore losers, man. That's it. Then we want to give more people guns and stuff too.
No, I don't. But.
I'm not anti-gun, but man, people who are butthurt sure be using them. It seems.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed our new version of the show. I stared at the camera way too many times, but I feel like it. But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on YouTube and Twitter. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
And it's been Hanging with Uncle.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya. Peace.